Roman Reigns breaks character after WWE Raw. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer. Have a nice day. For the WWE family latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Thank you. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso shared a special character-breaking moment after the July 21st episode of Monday Night Raw went off the air. The two cousins, who have a long and dramatic on-screen history, came together for a lighthearted celebration with the live crowd in a non-televised segment. After the broadcast ended, Jey Uso was in the ring doing his signature yeet celebration with the fans in attendance. He then noticed Roman Reigns looking on from the corner and encouraged his cousin to join him. Although Reigns looked hesitant at first, he eventually smiled and climbed to the middle rope. He then joined Jey in the yeet chant, drawing a massive ovation from the surprised and delighted crowd. After the celebration, the two shared a hug before leaving the ring. The moment was a huge hit online. Reigns himself responded to the viral video on Instagram with a humorous one-line caption, joking, "Definitely." The off-air moment was especially significant for fans who have followed the complex, multi-year story between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Their on-screen relationship has been the central pillar of the entire Bloodline saga, seeing them go from rivals in a classic "I quit Hell in a Cell" match to Jey reluctantly serving as Roman's right-hand man. Their story eventually led to Jey being the first to stand up to Roman, sparking the Bloodline civil war in 2023. This culminated in a deeply personal tribal combat match at SummerSlam that year. Their history is filled with emotional and physical challenges, which is why seeing them share a genuinely happy moment, even in a non-canon setting, was so special for the live audience. The post-show segment was a fun break from their current, very different on-screen trajectories. Since breaking away from the Bloodline, main event Jey Uso has become one of the most popular babyfaces on the Raw roster, with his yeet catchphrase becoming a phenomenon. Roman Reigns, meanwhile, made his own surprising return at Night of Champions in June after a multi-month hiatus. He has re-established himself as the dominant, serious tribal chief and is currently locked in a feud with John Cena, heading towards a blockbuster main event at SummerSlam. While their on-screen paths may not be aligned, the dark segment was a reminder of the real-life family bond that has made their storyline so compelling. WWE champion Cody Rhodes was a recent guest on the SI Media podcast. When asked about a potential rubber match with Roman Reigns, Rhodes said a third match between them would be very hard to do. "I'm very happy with what we put out there," Cody Rhodes began. "I always try to speak highly of him. Anytime I've ever said something a little snarky, I guess it's been more for entertainment. That's probably a very hard match to have happen. I could see it being very significant. It happening again. For the fans who really make this all up, for that, you can't just have two. We split it. That third exists. A lot of times, sometimes matches can go in the file of the greatest matches that never happened. I'm certainly not against it. I don't know what his outlook on it is. We're different than we were. Not against it. We're split. He won one, I won the other." What do you make of Cody Rhodes' comments? Do you think we'll ever see the rubber match between Rhodes and Reigns? Let us know your thoughts by sounding off in the comments section below. WWE's Netflix series Unreal is meant to peel back the curtain on what really goes on behind the scenes, but one insider says the show is exaggerating the drama for the cameras. Billy Potty criticized Unreal, claiming that while the show pretends to offer a raw look at WWE creative, many of the segments are scripted for dramatic effect. According to him, the series manufactures tension in scenes that had already been resolved long before the cameras rolled. Body specifically pointed to the booking discussion for Wrestlemania Night 1's triple threat between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. On the show, WWE writers are seen debating who should win, but Body insists the decision had already been locked in. He explained that WWE always intended for Seth Rollins to win the match and form a new faction with Paul Heyman, making the entire debate scene pointless. Body then questioned the authenticity of other scenes in the series, including the Royal Rumble booking segment that showed WWE's creative team debating the winner. Do you think Unreal is exaggerating things for the cameras, or is this just how wrestling storytelling works in 2025? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comment section below. This past April, the two-night WWE Wrestlemania 41 was headlined by a triple threat involving Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, as well as the WWE Championship match between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. That wasn't always the plan, however, with Paul Heyman offering some insight into the creative process during a recent appearance. The original idea for this year's Mania was Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins and Gunther versus CM Punk, Heyman said. I think Cody and Cena was always the path. We also discussed at some point, do we do Cody versus Roman 3? Do they main event a third WrestleMania in a row? That would have been interesting too. I mean, we explored all options. The dynamic between Roman and Punk was so fascinating to watch, Heyman stated. We said, ooh, is it Roman versus Punk? Is it Seth versus Gunther? And then at some point we realized it's so much more intriguing as a triple threat, and Jey Uso's riding a wave of momentum. He later defeated Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship in the opening match of WrestleMania 41. According to Heyman, it was meant to serve as a feel-good moment for the crowd, while the main event triple threat was just too good of an idea to pass up. That match ended with Heyman switching his allegiance to Rollins, setting up the last several months of storytelling. Paul Heyman belongs on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling managers. Heyman's gift of gab and his knack for stirring up reactions is something you just can't teach. More than a mere mouthpiece, Heyman is a fully realized character, a bold, overconfident figure with the Midas touch, able to elevate numerous talent by immersing himself in the story. Other managers have clients, but Heyman has Paul Heyman guys. That tells you something. But while Heyman is the best in the business at talking trash and creating drama, his talent alone can't elevate everyone. Truth be told, there are just as many failed Paul Heyman guys as there are successes. We just tend to forget about them. We're going to rank Paul Heyman guys from WWE based on their achievements under Heyman's management. So, for example, we won't count Roman Reigns' big dog accomplishments, only his tribal chief achievements. Which Paul Heyman guys did he elevate to all-time greats, and which ones failed to take off? Before we begin, we can't ignore the career of Paul E. Dangerously, Heyman's gimmick during his pre-WWE career, including WCW and ECW. Dangerously was basically a beta version of Paul Heyman, a smug figure you wanted to see challenged. While Heyman has the grace of a veteran instigator, Dangerously had the arrogance of youth, which may be worse depending on your point of view. The guys Paul E. Dangerously managed in WCW and ECW are a who's who of future superstars, including stunning Steve Austin, the future Stone Cold, mean Mark Callis, The Undertaker, Taz and Sabu, to name a few, as well as seasoned veterans like Bobby Eaton, Rick Rude, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and Arn Anderson. During the early 1990s, Dangerously's Dangerous Alliance was one of WCW's top heel factions and battled top babyface stars like Sting, Ricky Steamboat, and the Steiner brothers. It's a mighty impressive lineup and already puts Dangerously Heyman in the conversation for best manager ever. We're not talking about Paul E. Dangerously guys, we're talking Paul Heyman guys. But they deserve some acknowledgement. What do a bold New Yorker who likes to elevate young talent and a tough Alabaman who likes to test them have in common? They're both associated with hardcore wrestling, maybe? Honestly, we're not sure, which is probably why WWE paired them up during Hardcore Holly's short stint in the mid-2000s ECW revival. Holly aligned himself with Paul Heyman as an Arn Anderson-style enforcer, taking out top guy Rob Van Dam, leading to a feud between the two. Why Heyman would choose WWE guys like Holly over his born-and-bred ECW talent didn't make sense, but that was WWE's ECW for you. Less a revival of the beloved hardcore brand, and more a pre-NXT training ground, combining the next crop of main roster talent with vets like Holly. It made sense from Vince's POV, but was frustrating to Heyman and the ECW fanbase who still chant EC-dub to this day. Holly turned face to team up with RVD against Heyman and ECW champion The Big Show. What was even happening on this show? Only to turn heel on RVD again. While the name was ECW, the booking was more latter-day WCW, as demonstrated by Holly. Either way, Holly gets his spot for being the most inconsequential and nonsensical Paul Heyman guy. Test had all the makings of a Vince McMahon guy, big, good-looking, with a head full of blonde hair that belonged on the cover of a magazine. No wonder he caught McMahon's attention. Alas, he never connected with WWE fans, despite high-profile angles like teaming with Stephanie McMahon and feuding with The Undertaker. After a brief break from WWE in 2005, Test was back for the ECW revival in 2006, in an effort to turn a Vince McMahon guy into a Paul Heyman guy. Test aligned with Heyman and became a top heel contender, forming a faction of ECW newcomers alongside Big Show, competing in an Extreme Elimination Chamber match at ECW's much-maligned December to Dismember PPV, and feuding for the ECW World Championship with champion Bobby Lashley. Not the worst run in the world, and if Heyman managed Test on the main roster, it might have ranked higher. But Test being a Paul Heyman guy on ECW was a stretch, which is why this run does not stand